Okay, welcome back. Okay, listen, we're going to do something interesting today. We're going to do a translation list. List number 16 from book 3. This book is for low advanced. It's almost for the super intelligent, but not quite. Hay dos formas para decir casi. Hay tres. Almost, nearly, and not quite. Interesting. Not quite is the same idea from the opposite direction. I'm almost ready. I'm nearly ready. Casi estoy seguro. I'm not quite ready means casi casi estoy listo. It's an interesting expression that is impossible to translate, but it means almost. Okay, we're going to do list number 16, and we're going to do it in 2 directions. A bi-directional translation list, because sitting on my left, as you know, is Marisa, Australian from Sydney. So her English is perfect, but her Spanish is not. Well, her Spanish is 99.9% perfect, but Mercedes and me were conferring. Yeah, de una conferencia se usa el verbo conferir. Estamos conferiendo, ¿se puede decir? Estamos confiriendo tú y yo.
No, I don't know the word, but
in English, yes, you and I were conferring.
Conspirando.
No, it's not a conspiracy. We were not plotting. You understand? Mm-hmm. To conspire, to a conspiracy, there are 2 words for conspiración. A conspiracy and a plot. Now the verb, que es tramar, conspirar, is to plot. Y un complot is una conspiración. It's the same idea. Complot y conspiración is the same. And to plot. And we're plotting. No, we're not. We were simply conferring, and we decided that we would do a bi-directional program. So we'll start with you, and I will ask you in English, and then you will ask her in English, and she answers in Spanish, okay? Estoy aquí desde esta mañana.
I've been here since this morning.
Good. Dilo bien y pronuncia bien.
I've been here since this morning.
Since. Quiero oír más.
Since this morning.
Remate bien esa palabra.
Thank you.
One more time.
I've been here since this morning.
Okay. Now, say this in English for Marisa.
He'll get angry if you don't tell him.
No.
Sorry, if you tell him.
Repeat, please.
He'll get angry if you tell him.
Come on, Marisa.
Se enfadaré. Si,
Se enfadará.
Se enfadará, sorry. Si lo dices.
Si se lo dices.
Si se lo dices.
Uy, 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 uy. Okay. We're going to
Putting
give...
me on the spot.
We're going to give... She's an English teacher. She's an English teacher. And we're going to give her some of her own medicine. A taste of her own medicine, okay? We're going to make her feel what it feels like, you know? What does it feel like to be an imperfect student?
Very stressing.
Very stressful.
Stressful.
Estás estresada. Okay. Very stressful. Okay. Yo no tengo intención de decírselo.
I'm not planning to tell him.
All right. Very good. She's doing better than you, Marisa.
I'm sure.
Oh my
Okay.
God. But he'll find out sooner or later.
Good. Repeat.
But he'll find out sooner or later.
He'll find out sooner or later.
Saying...
Se enterará tarde o temprano.
Good.
Very good.
All right. No. Repeat.
Se enterará tarde o temprano.
Good. By the way, I guarantee you, her Spanish is perfect when she speaks. I'm asking her to think and to be meticulous in her mechanics. Okay, Mercedes. Puede que todavía haya una solución.
There may be a solution.
¿Y el todavía dónde lo coloca?
There still may be a solution.
Is that correct, Marisa?
No.
¿Cómo que no? There still may be a solution. ¿Cómo lo dirías tú? A ver.
There may still be a solution.
There may still be a solution. There still may be a solution. Come on.
All right, it's correct.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Okay.
We could rob a bank.
That's a possible solution. We could rob a bank.
We could rob a bank.
That's an easy one.
Podemos robar un banco.
¿Podríamos?
O podríamos robar un banco.
O sea, coger el banco y llevárselo.
Robar.
Atracar.
Oh, atracar. Okay. Robar, no.
¿Se roban bancos o se atracan?
Sí.
O se asaltan? What do you say in Spanish? Bank robbers with masks and guns, they give me your money, and they take, what do you say?
I could say robar. That is the same.
All right. Podríamos robar un banco.
Okay.
Ask her if she has ever robbed a bank.
Have you ever robbed a bank?
No, I haven't.
Ask her if she has ever thought about robbing a bank.
Have you ever thought about robbing a bank?
Good.
No.
Perdona. Could you repeat?
Have you ever thought about robbing a bank?
No, it's too much trouble.
Too much trouble.
Too much work.
Okay. Eso sería demasiado peligroso.
That would be too dangerous.
That would be too dangerous. Okay. Entonces?
In Spanish.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Then
Yes, please.
what do you suggest we do?
Then what do we suggest you do?
What do you suggest?
What do you suggest we do?
Okay.
Que.
Oh, she's not a translator. I'm not going to hire you. Ask her if she has ever worked as an interpreter.
Have you ever worked as an interpreter?
Yes, I have, only once.
Ask her if she had trouble.
Did you have trouble?
No, because it was very informal.
It was very informal. Ask her where it took place.
Where did it take place?
In Navarra.
In Navarra. Okay. Ask her if it took place in Pamplona.
Why?
Ask her if it took place in Pamplona.
Did it take place in Pamplona?
No, it didn't.
Ask her where it took place in Navarra.
Where did it take place in Navarra?
I don't remember
In
the name.
Navarra.
In Navarra.
Okay.
I'm confusing.
It's near Navarra.
No, in Navarra.
It was in a very small town of Navarra. I don't remember the
Ask
name.
her how long ago it took place.
How long ago did it take place?
Oof, about 10 years ago.
Okay. Ask her how long the session lasted.
How long did the session last? How long did the session last?
Well, about 3 days.
Really?
3 days.
I went with an American family who went to visit a Spanish relative. They didn't speak Spanish, and her English was poor, so I
Okay.
went to help her.
Ask her if she did it as a favor.
Did you do it as a favor?
Initially, yes, but then she insisted I take money.
Ask her how much. Ask her if they gave her a lot of money.
Did they give you a lot of money?
Okay, una vez más, por favor.
Did they give you a lot of money?
Good. Una vez más.
Did they give you?
No, give.
Okay. Did they give you a lot of money?
I don't remember how much they gave me now.
All right, fine. Ask her if she had ever been to Navarra before.
Have you ever been?
Sí ha estado, pero quiero decir si había estado antes. Ask her if she had ever
Okay.
been to Navarra before.
Had you ever been to Navarra before? Navarra, I don't know how to.
In English, Navarre. Con V.
Navarra. Okay.
Navarre.
Because I'm trying to say Navarra with a V.
All right, y no te sale.
No me sale.
Not before that moment, no.
Ask her if she has been back since.
Have you been back since then?
Y el then sobra. Have you been back since?
Okay.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
Ask her if she would like to visit Navarra.
Would you like to visit Navarra?
Yes, I would like to visit it again.
Okay. Ask me how many times I've been there.
How many times have you been there?
Twice only. I would like to go back too. And ask her if she's planning to go back to Australia this year.
Are you planning to go back to Australia this year?
Not at the moment.
Ask her if she would go back if I paid for her trip.
Would or
Yes. Ask her if she, it's condicional, claro que
okay?
would.
Would you go there if he pays for it for the
Listen.
trip?
Okay, ask her if she would go back this year
Okay.
if I paid for the trip.
Okay. Would you go back to Australia if he paid for the trip?
Yes, I would. And if he gave me the time.
All right. Okay. Ask her what she would do if she were in Australia for 2 months.
What would you do if you were in Australia for 2 months?
Well, I would probably travel part of the time.
Ask her. Yeah. And?
And the rest of the time spend it with my family.
All right. Ask her where she would travel.
Where would you travel?
I would probably go to Perth.
To Perth.
To Perth because I've never been. I have been to Rock, I've been to Cairns, I've been to the Gold Coast, I've been everywhere else. But I probably would revisit Cairns and Tasmania again.
Ask her why she would go back to Tasmania.
Why would you go back to Tasmania?
Because it's absolutely beautiful.
Ask her what's so beautiful about it.
What's so beautiful about it?
It's very green, and it has the Cradle Mountain National Park in the centre of Tasmania, which is marvellous.
It's marvelous. Ask if
marvelous.
Tasmania is a cold country.
Is Tasmania a cold country?
It's not a cold country, but it's a cold state.
It's a stone cold state. It's part of Australia.
Yes.
All right. Ask her if she would like to live in Tasmania.
Would you like to live in Tasmania?
No, I wouldn't.
Ask her why.
Why wouldn't you like to live in Tasmania?
Various reasons. The climate, it's very small, very tiny. It's probably about as big as Mallorca.
No, it's bigger.
It's bigger than Mallorca?
A lot bigger. I'll bet it's 8 times bigger than Mallorca. I think it's the size of Andalusia.
It takes 12 hours to drive from the north to the south of Tasmania.
It takes 2 hours or 1 hour to drive from the north.
Mallorca.
Mallorca.
Well, I've never
Excuse me.
measured.
How long does it take to drive from Palma to Alcudia?
Not long,
In a straight line, excuse me, in a straight line.
maybe 1 hour.
Okay.
Wow,
How long does it take from north to south in Tasmania?
12 hours.
My God. Yeah.
I've never thought about it, but it just looks tiny.
Ask me if Tasmania is the same size as Andalusia.
Is Tasmania the same size as Andalusia?
Tasmania is the same size as Andalusia and Ohio
Well,
in the United States. Okay.
Okay.
So it's quite big.
yeah,
All
I
right.
suppose.
Mallorca's very. Ask her how many times she has been to Mallorca.
How many times have you been to Mallorca?
I've been there 3 times.
Ask her if she has ever driven from one end to the other.
Have you ever driven from one end to the other?
No, I haven't.
All right. So you didn't notice. You didn't pay attention.
I didn't go that far north.
Yeah. Besides, women are not very aware. Men are much more geographical. Women simply don't pay attention to that. Okay. 3 times. Ask me why she's gone to Mallorca so often.
Why have you gone to Mallorca so often?
Because I love Mallorca.
Ask her if she always goes to the same place.
Do you always go to the same place?
No, I don't.
Ask her which trip she remembers the best.
Which trip do you remember the best?
Probably my first trip.
Ask her why.
Why do you remember it so well?
Various reasons. I went to La Calobra. That was very beautiful, the trip up there and there. Cuevas de Drac, that was also very interesting. My hotel was right by the ocean, and my terrace faced the ocean at sunset. It was gorgeous.
All right, good.
Beautiful.
Okay. It also depends on the company you go with, too.
I went alone.
You went alone?
I went alone.
Ask her how long ago that was.
How long ago was that?
Probably about 11 years ago,
11 years ago.
approximately.
Was that before we met or after we met?
Just after we met.
Okay, good. All right. Ask her if she wants to go back to Australia next Christmas.
Do you want to go back to Australia next Christmas?
I would like to, yes.
All right. Ask her how much time she expects to have next Christmas.
How much time do you expect to spend?
No, to have.
To have in Christmas.
I expect to have 3 weeks.
All right. Ask her if 3 weeks is enough time to go to Australia.
Is 3 weeks enough to go to Australia?
Provided you don't want to travel, yes.
¿Qué ha dicho?
Que si no tienes en cuenta que quieres viajar.
Pero, ¿cómo lo has dicho en inglés? ¿Cómo lo-
Provided.
Provided you don't...
Dado que no.
No, provided. Siempre que...
Okay.
Okay, something. It's provided you don't travel. All right? And ask her if she always suffers jet lag when she flies to Australia.
Do you always suffer jet lag when you go to Australia?
Tremendously.
Yes, it does. Ask her if it's worse, going or coming back.
Is it worse going or coming back?
Coming back.
Coming back.
Oh, yeah?
Ask her if she usually flies over South America or over Asia.
Do you usually fly over... yeah. Do you usually fly over South America or
Asia.
Asia?
The opposite direction.
Yeah, you're right.
I fly over Asia.
Ask her if she has ever flown over South America. No me tocó a mí.
Have you ever flown over South America?
Oh, no.
Never.
Too long.
It's too long. Ask her how long it takes to fly to Australia by way of South America.
How long does it take to fly from Australia
No, to Australia.
to Australia
By way? Por via de. By way of.
By way, okay. Via, did you say via?
Via, yes. Via.
Okay.
You can say via or via.
Okay.
Both are correct. What do you say, via or via?
Via.
I say via. Okay. Via Bogota, for example.
Okay.
Ask her how long it takes to fly to Australia via or via South America.
How long does it take to fly to Australia via South America?
Approximately 35 hours.
35 hours. Ask her
My
why it takes so
God.
long.
Why does it take so long?
Because you have to go across and you have to come back down.
Okay.
But wait a minute. How long does it take? Have you ever flown to South America?
Yes.
Where?
Once to Colombia.
How long did it take? Or did you have a stopover, or did you fly
No, directly to
non-stop?
non-stop.
How long did it take?
Around 10 hours, I think so.
That's right.
10 hours. And you say 35 hours, which means from Bogota to Sydney
There's
would
another
be
20 odd
25 hours?
My
Come on.
Approximately.
God.
Yeah.
How long does it take to fly from Los Angeles to Sydney?
I don't know. How
It
long
takes about
takes.
12 hours,
12 hours.
I think.
Okay.
All right, so from Bogota is less.
People have told me it takes 30 odd hours to
So
fly.
you've never done it?
No, I've never done it myself.
Okay, maybe you should look into it.
Yeah, it might
How do you
be.
say? A lo mejor deberías investigarlo.
To look into
Maybe?
it. Maybe you have to look into it.
No, have to is muy categórico.
Okay, you should look into it.
Maybe you should look into it.
Go to Buenos Aires.
Yeah, why not? Ask her if she's ever been to South America.
Have you ever been to South America?
No, I haven't.
Ask her if she would like to visit Argentina.
Would you like to visit Argentina?
I would very much.
Okay, ask her if she has ever been to Italy. Her parents are from Italy. Ask her if she's ever been to Italy.
Have you ever been to Italy?
Yes, I have.
Ask her if she has ever met her Italian uncle.
Have you ever met your Italian uncle?
Well, when I was in Rome, I could very well have met my Italian uncle, and I had no idea. I have relatives in Rome.
But wait a minute. Ask her if her father has a brother.
Does your father have a brother?
One brother left living, yes.
Okay. Ask her if she has ever met him.
Have you ever met her?
No, I haven't.
Him
Yeah.
is an uncle,
Him,
yeah. Okay.
Yes.
And he lives in Rome,
No, he lives in Bergamo.
Bergamo. And ask her if she ever met her Italian grandparents.
Have you ever met?
Did you? They're not alive, probably. Are your
no,
grandparents
they're
alive?
not. Okay.
Ask her if she ever met
Okay.
her Italian grandparents.
Did you ever meet your Italian grandparents?
No, I didn't have the pleasure.
Okay, tell her to ask me if I knew all of my grandparents.
Ask him if he knew all of her grandparents.
All of her grandparents?
All of his grandparents. My God.
Did you know all of your grandparents?
Yes, I did. Yes, I
Very
did.
lucky.
Tell her to ask me how old I was when my grandparents died.
Ask him how old he was when his grandparents died.
Okay.
Okay.
How old were you when your grandparents died?
My first grandparent that died, my father's father, I was 9. And the last one who died, I was, let's see, he died in I was about 27, 28. Yeah. So, yes. No, even more, I'm sorry. I was about 30, 31. So I knew them quite well. I knew all of my grandparents well. The first one I remember very well. All right, ask me where he died.
Where did your grandfather die?
The first one?
The
What does she
first
want to
one.
know?
She wants to know when.
Where
your grandfather died. When one of your
Yeah, but I didn't understand your grammar. What does she want to know?
She wants to know why one of your
No, why? No, where?
Where, my God, yes. Where one of your grandparents or father died.
Fathers.
Died.
Good. He died in Las Vegas. Yeah. Ask me how he died.
How did he die?
He died of a heart attack. Tell her to ask me if he died because he lost a lot of money.
Ask him if he died because he lost all of his money.
Did he die because he lost all of his money?
No, he didn't. Tell her to ask me if he died because he had an exciting moment.
Ask him if he died because he had an emotional moment.
Did he die because he had an emotional moment?
No, he didn't. Okay. Tell her to ask me if he already had a heart condition. Fijaos cómo lo digo, porque se dice mucho así. Tener problemas de corazón. Hay formas varias de decirlo. To have a heart problem, to suffer heart disease, or to have a heart condition is used a lot. Tell her to ask me if he had a heart condition.
Ask him if he had a heart condition.
Did he have a heart condition?
Yes, he did. Tell her to ask me how many heart attacks he had before that.
Ask him how many heart attacks he had before that.
How many heart attacks had he had before that?
He had 2 before that. Ask him. Tell her to ask me how many strokes he had before that.
How many strokes?
No, tell her to ask me.
Ask him how many strokes he had before that.
How many strokes had he had before that?
1. All right. But it was not a strong stroke. It was not too debilitating. Do you understand?
Yes.
Fijaos que digo debilitate, debilitando, debilitante se dice en inglés. It wasn't too debilitating. All right. So he was slower.
He was touched, but
Touched.
not
Yeah, tocado you say in Spanish. But he was affected.
affected. Okay.
But he didn't lose his motor abilities. He simply needed to be a bit more careful. Okay. And so, but tell her to ask me if he tried to take good care of himself.
Ask him if he tried to take care of himself.
Did he try to take care of himself?
No, he didn't. Tell her to ask me why.
Ask him why he didn't try to take care of himself.
Why didn't he try to take care of himself?
Because he was a doctor. Okay. He was a doctor. Tell her to ask me if he smoked.
Ask him if he smoked.
Did he smoke?
Yes, he did. Tillard asked me how many packs a day he smoked.
Ask him how many packages, no?
Packs.
Packs.
Or packets, but not packages.
Ah, okay. Packs a day he smoked.
How many packs a day did he smoke?
Between 2 and 3.
Whoa.
My God.
Tillard asked me why he smoked.
Ask him why he smoked.
Why did he smoke?
At that time, all doctors smoked.
Okay.
It was deliberately.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, and here in Spain too. Doctors, you go back 2 generations, doctors smoked on purpose.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
I knew they smoked, but I didn't know they smoked on purpose.
Yeah, well, Tillard asked me why doctors used to smoke on purpose.
Asking why doctors used to smoke on purpose.
Why?
On purpose.
Purpose.
Why did doctors used to smoke on purpose?
It was protective from contagious diseases. Yeah. If you noticed, I don't know if you noticed, I noticed here in Spain, my first years when I was married, I noticed in 2 villages the doctors were smoking when they were taking care of you or examining you. They always walked in with a cigarette.
Wow.
Because contagious diseases don't penetrate smoke well. They don't. All right? It kills with some. And so my grandfather always kept a cigarette in his mouth when he was checking somebody who could have a contagious illness. Not if you had a broken wrist or something, you know.
No.
Or TB, as you say, tuberculosis. But if it was something that could be contagious, like the flu, and then he always had a cigarette in his mouth.
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Me neither.
Yes. And I imagine if you speak to doctors, they will tell you. They don't do it now. Maybe they should. You never know. I don't know. Because in hospitals, there's a lot of contagion and viruses and bacteria running around. Okay, tell her to ask me how old my grandmother was when her husband died.
Ask him how old his grandmother was when he died.
When her husband died.
When her husband died.
How old was your grandmother when her husband died?
She was not 73.
She was 73.
Ask me how old he was.
How old was he?
He was 71.
Oh, wow.
All right. Tell her to ask me if he died instantly.
Ask him if he died instantly.
Did he die instantly?
No, he didn't. Tell her to ask me where he died.
Ask him where he died. Ask him where he died.
Where did he die?
In the ambulance, on the way to the hospital. All right. And tell her to ask me how old I was when that happened.
Ask him how old he was when that happened.
How old were you when that happened?
I was 9. Okay. And tell her to ask me if I missed my grandfather.
Ask him if he missed his grandfather.
Did you miss your grandfather?
Yes, I did. Tell her to ask me why.
Ask him why he missed on the past. Okay.
At that moment, when I was young.
Ask him why he missed his grandfather so much.
Why did you miss your grandfather so much?
Because my grandfather predicted my future perfectly. Yeah. My grandfather, one time, he always called me the chairman of the board. He always called me the chairman of the board, presidente del consejo, and I became the chairman of the board. He also said I was going to be a champion runner, and it was true. He always said, you're going to be a champion runner.
Okay.
Because when I was a little boy, perhaps 2 years old, 3 years old, when he was visiting, he said, Ricky, run around the house. And I ran around the house. I came, run around again. And I ran around again. He said, you're going to be a champion runner. Now, run around again. And I ran around again. My grandfather was a lover of sports.
Okay.
Especially, he could have become a professional baseball player, but he decided to become a doctor, which is very similar to a movie. Did you ever see the movie Field of Dreams? Campos de Ensueño or something with Kevin Costner?
So. No, I haven't seen
It was very good.
I remember, yeah.
Burt Lancaster plays the part of a very good baseball player who leaves baseball to become a doctor. Okay? And he leaves at a moment when he could have become a great baseball player. Now, my grandfather was very similar. Okay, we have to go. Marco's telling me, corta. Okay, so it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, too, for you, Mercedes. Thank you for coming. I'll be back in just a few minutes for more of Vaughan en Vivo.